How y'all doing out there? Left Lane Dipper here, come make another video. It is September 16th, 2019. It's a Monday. It's a little bit later than I wanted to get this video done, but as you can see, the title of this video is Tennessee versus Chattanooga review. Your final score: Tennessee 45, Chattanooga 0. It feels good to get a win. You know, after the last 2 weeks, you know, first week, you know, basically just get your ass kicked by a Sun Belt team, and then losing overtime last week. You know, I think the BYU loss was more gut-wrenching than the Georgia State, because it's the way that Tennessee lost to BYU. And they beat USC this past weekend, by the way. So if they end up with a good season, which I think they're capable of, that BYU loss doesn't look as bad as it does last week. So I was debating on what I was going to do this week, and I had some suggestions about this particular dip. And I wanted to give it a try because I really like the flavor, and that's Copenhagen Extra Long Cut Natural. So let's go ahead and pack us a lip before we get into this video. The only thing I like Copenhagen, but I really like the fiberboard cans, and this comes in the cheap ass plastic cans. Now that we've loaded our lips, mud jug of the day, by the way, the Orange Roadie. Look at that bad boy. Tennessee, baby. I know that this team isn't obviously the caliber of BYU, and they're obviously not the caliber of Florida, or any other team that we're going to play this year. UAB is our only other out-of-conference team, and that's going to be questionable whether we can win that game or not, because, I mean, I know they're not a Power 5 school, but I believe they won, I think, 9 or 10 games last year with a bowl victory, I think. I'd have to double check that. So they're not going to be a pushover. But let me go ahead and get into the stats real quick. First downs, Tennessee had 22 to Chattanooga's 15. The stat of the game was 5 turnovers to 0. That really made the difference in this game, especially early on. Total yards 360 to 227. No sacks for either team, which I find that surprisingly. You know, even being a lackluster team like Chattanooga, that we couldn't get a sack. And then third down conversions are still, they're better on the defensive side, but the offensive side, we were 4 for 10, they were 6 of 17. That's got to get better. You know, if you can only be 4 of 10 against Chattanooga, what is it going to be like next week? You know, when we got to travel to Gainesville. I hate to put him as the player of the game, but there was no denying it. Jared Garantano was the player of the game. 7-8, 142 yards and 3 touchdowns. My first runner-up, and my first honorable mention, Marquez Callaway. 2 receptions, 59 yards and a touchdown. My second honorable mention is Jeremy Banks. 2 interceptions. He could end up being a heck of a player on defense. I'd rather see him on offense, but He's doing a good job on the defensive side of the ball. We'll see how he does against Florida. And then Jawan Jennings, one reception for 12 yards and 1 touchdown. And he has now caught a touchdown in every game this season. And then for Chattanooga, E. Hanks, 15 carries for 85 yards. So yeah, those are your stats for the game. Like I said, modified versions this year. No need to go over every stat. As I said earlier, we're dipping on this Copenhagen extra long cut natural. I love the flavor of the natural Copenhagen. I haven't tried the Grizzly, but it's longer and I like it. It's obviously not like the Stoker's cut, but I really do like the cut a lot better than the regular long cut. Again, the flavors, I don't really know there's a whole lot of difference in the flavor, but again, I would rather have that in the fiberboard can. One day I may try the snuff. Again, I know this wasn't a Power 5 or SEC team, but these boys showed some fight. They showed that you don't have to be shut this team out. I believe this team hasn't been shut out in 6 years when they played Alabama. So that was they got close to scoring a few times, but our defense really stepped up and shut them down. So I got to give my props to that. Now, regardless of how good or how bad this team was, it was good to see them just dominate, which they should have done in week 1. I would have had no problem being 2-1. But this game next week I think this is still a winnable game. But they're going to have to play the best game they've played all year. Better than they played today, or Saturday. And this, by far, is Jeremy Pruitt's biggest game since he's arrived in Knoxville. You cannot afford to lose this game. You cannot start 1-3. This is a must-win for this team, because after this game, you've got Mississippi State. No, you have a bye, and then you have Georgia, Mississippi State, Alabama. Mississippi State almost pulled off the Kansas State, excuse me. That was actually a good game. I watched the end of that game. And they've got a phenomenal freshman quarterback. He laid it all out on the line on that last play. I thought he had the first down. So, this is a must-win. To go into that gauntlet, you can't go 1-3. You've got to get this win. You've got to beat Florida. I don't know what their quarterback situation is, with Felipe Franks being injured. I don't know who their backups are. I really don't follow them. I have no reason to follow them. We got to see some of the freshman, see 2 of the freshman quarterbacks. I'm not going to say I was impressed with the freshman quarterbacks, but that first game, they need time, they need reps, they need in-game reps. They didn't throw a whole lot. But Garantano did play a good game for the time that he was in there. Hopefully we get to see more of these freshmen. But I hate to say it, and I am not a JG fan, and it's going to taste like vinegar, but he is the best option. As I hate to say it, but he's the best option right now until we can get these freshmen developed. So yeah, I'm happy with the victory. Next week is going to be it could go three ways. We could get our asses handed to us like they did last year. If you look at last year's game, that the score does not indicate how the game actually played out. Jarrett Garantano cost us the game last year against Florida. He had two very crucial turnovers inside our 30-yard line. You take away those turnovers and the game could have ended up being a lot closer. And we all know what happened last time we were in Gainesville. Got beat on the last play. That seems to be a reoccurring thing with this team. Whether it be the last play or next to the last play. And it even happened in the several times during the Jones era. Missed extra point. I remember we were playing Oklahoma. We were up by Oklahoma by 13 or 14, and ended up losing in overtime. This team has to learn how to finish games, and obviously they didn't have a chance to do that Saturday. So we could get blown out. We could lose close, or we could pull off the victory. So I'm looking forward to that game. Kickoff time is 12 o'clock. Head over to stokers.com, enter for you a chance to win a mud jug. That resets midnight on Monday, and you can enter every day to win the truck. And then if not all the cans have it, but you got a chance to win an extra entry. Is that upside down? No, it's not. You scratch that code off and enter that in. You can do 10 of those a day. Head over to beardclub.com. If you're growing a beard like I am, 5 months now since I've cut it. I'm gonna try they're coming to me. I ordered them over the weekend. Is their growth pills and the growth oil. I don't know if it's gonna make a difference, but we'll see. They got really good oils, they got good balms, they got beeswax, they got beard wash. And that beard wash is like $10, but I've had that for almost 2 months, and I've used like this much of the bottle. I mean, you use very little, and it smells like cedar. It's just a good beard wash. If you're growing a beard, you want to keep it. Obviously, I didn't fix it today, but if you want to keep it healthy, keep it looking good, head over to thebeardclub.com. My final thoughts on this dip. I like it. I don't know. It won't be my everyday dip. Stoker's is always going to be my everyday dip. I'm not paying $4 a can or $3.59, whatever it is. I like the $1.45 for Stoker's. I thank y'all for watching. Keep living, keep dipping, and keep spitting. I'm out, y'all.